Jordan burst through the workshop door, sawdust already clinging to dark curls that bounced with each step. Brown eyes scanned the shelves of wood scraps and paint cans, searching for the perfect pieces. A purple apron hung loosely over a yellow striped shirt, and paint-splattered jeans told stories of 100 different projects. Today's the day, came the announcement to no one in particular, though the workshop seemed to listen anyway. The neighborhood building competition was tomorrow, and everyone had been working on their projects for weeks. The rules were simple. Create something amazing using only recycled materials. The winner would have their creation displayed in the town square for a whole month. Hammering echoed from next door, where Maya worked on her project. Through the window, Alex could be seen painting something bright blue. Everyone was busy creating, but the workshop remained empty of actual building. Instead, careful hands sorted through materials, arranging and rearranging pieces without ever starting. "Need any help?" Grandpa Chen appeared in the doorway, his gentle smile crinkling the corners of his eyes. "I know exactly what I want to build. A tower that reaches the clouds with bridges connecting the smaller towers, and maybe a slide that spirals all the way down and dash." "Sounds wonderful," Grandpa Chen said, settling onto a wooden stool. "What materials will you use?" "Well, I found these cardboard tubes and some wooden planks and wire and bottles and—" The explanation tumbled out in a rush while materials piled higher on the workbench. Grandpa Chen picked up a cardboard tube, examining it thoughtfully. "You know, this reminds me of the bamboo we used for building when I was young. We had to choose each piece carefully." But the story drifted past unheard as more materials joined the growing pile. By the time Grandpa Chen finished talking about bamboo selection, half the workshop's contents covered the workbench. "I should probably get started," came the sudden realization. Grandpa Chen nodded and headed back to his garden, leaving behind a scent of soil and wisdom. The first attempt began with the tallest cardboard tube as a center post. Wood planks balanced precariously across the top, but they kept sliding off. Wire wrapped around everything just made it wobble more. After an hour, the tower looked more like a pile of sticks that had gotten into a fight with some string. Maya poked her head through the window. "How's it going?" "Great. Just planning out the design." The wobbling pile chose that moment to collapse completely. Maya climbed through the window, her long braids swinging. "I'm building a robot that can water plants. Want to see?" "Maybe later. I really need to focus on—" "The arms are made from paper towel tubes, and I figured out how to make joints that actually bend." Maya demonstrated with enthusiasm, but her words bounced off ears already focused on restacking the fallen pieces. After Maya left, the second attempt involved hot glue. Lots of hot glue. So much hot glue that the cardboard tube stuck to the workbench, the wooden planks stuck to each other in all the wrong places, and somehow a plastic bottle ended up permanently attached to the floor. "Knock, knock!" Mrs. Rodriguez from 2 houses down peered around the door. "I brought lemonade and cookies." "Thanks, Mrs. Rodriguez, but I'm really busy right now." Sticky fingers grabbed a cookie without looking up from the glue disaster. "I see you're building something tall," she observed, setting down the lemonade pitcher. "You know, when I was an architect, the first thing we learned was that strong buildings need strong foundations. The Empire State Building, for example, dash." "Uh-huh, foundations, got it." But the words floated past like clouds while frantic hands tried to unstick the bottle from the floor. Mrs. Rodriguez smiled knowingly and left the lemonade behind. The workshop fell quiet except for the sound of peeling glue and frustrated sighs. By evening, attempt number 5 had produced something that might generously be called a tower if you squinted and tilted your head. It leaned dramatically to one side, held up mostly by a hoop and a concerning amount of duct tape. Alex appeared at the door, paint smudges decorating his cheeks like war paint. "Wow, that's interesting. Is it supposed to lean like that?" "It's artistic." "What did you make?" "A bridge. But not just any bridge. It's got adjustable sections so different-sized toy cars can cross. Mr. Kim next door told me about how real bridges expand in the heat, so I made mine with rubber bands and stretch." "Cool." The response came out flat. attention already back on adding more duct tape to the leaning tower. Alex shrugged and wandered off, leaving behind the faint smell of acrylic paint and good ideas. Night fell, and the workshop light burned bright. Jordan's tower had grown taller but not stronger, wider but not more stable. It looked like a giant had sneezed on a pile of recyclables and then wrapped the whole thing in tape for good measure.
"Time for bed," Mom called from the house. "Just 5 more minutes."
You said that an hour ago. Come on, the competition's tomorrow. Reluctantly abandoning the chaos of creation, tired feet trudged to the house. Sleep came fitfully, filled with dreams of towers that actually stood straight and bridges that connected to clouds. Morning arrived too soon, bringing with it the sound of neighbors preparing their projects for transport. Through the window, Maya carefully loaded her plant-watering robot into a wagon. Alex balanced his adjustable bridge between 2 boxes. Even Quiet Sam from the end of the street carried something covered in a checkered cloth. The tower, in harsh morning light, looked even worse than remembered. One side had completely collapsed during the night, and the duct tape had somehow attracted every bug in the neighborhood, creating a glittery, moving surface that was definitely not part of the plan.
"Oh no! Oh no!"
Frantic hands tried to salvage something, anything from the wreckage. But each adjustment made things worse until the whole structure gave up and flopped over like a tired elephant. Tears threatened to spill. All that work, all those materials, and nothing to show for it but a pile of tape-covered garbage. The competition started in 2 hours. Need some help? Grandpa Chen stood in the doorway again, this time holding 2 cups of hot chocolate. Jordan looked up, eyes shining with unshed tears. It's ruined. Everything's ruined. I worked so hard, but nothing turned out right. Grandpa Chen handed over a cup and settled onto his favorite stool. Tell me about your vision. This time, something different happened. Maybe it was the gentle steam from the hot chocolate, or the way morning light caught the dust motes dancing in the air, or just the patient way Grandpa Chen waited. But this time, the words came slower.
I wanted to build something tall. Something that everyone would look at and say, wow.
Why tall? Grandpa Chen asked, taking a thoughtful sip. The question hung in the air. Because tall things are impressive. Are they? What about the moss garden I showed you last month? It's only an inch high, but you stared at it for 20 minutes. Memory flickered. The tiny garden had been fascinating, with its miniature landscapes and hidden details. That was different. That was special.
What made it special?
All the little parts worked together, like a tiny world where everything had a place. Understanding began to dawn like sunrise. Oh. Grandpa Chen smiled. Maya stopped by my garden yesterday. She was worried because her robot's arms kept falling off. We talked about joints and movement, and she remembered something you'd shown her about wire wrapping from your jewelry phase. Fixed the problem perfectly.
She used my wire technique?
And Alex mentioned that his bridge idea came from watching you build that cardboard castle last summer. The one with all the connected rooms? He said it inspired him to think about things that connect and adjust. The hot chocolate warmed more than just cold hands. I helped him without knowing it. You've always been good at creating. But creating isn't just about building up. Sometimes it's about building together. Grandpa Chen stood, brushing imaginary dust from his pants. 2 hours is plenty of time if you're ready to try something different. Jordan sat in the quiet workshop, surrounded by the remains of yesterday's ambition. Then, with new determination, fresh materials came off the shelves. But this time, the building began with a question. Maya! The call carried across the fence. How does your robot pick things up? Maya's face lit up as she explained her pulley system. While she talked, careful attention followed every word, and soon a small pulley appeared in the new creation.
Alex, how do you make things adjust heights?
Alex demonstrated his rubber band technique with enthusiasm. Notes were taken, ideas were shared, and rubber bands found their way into the design. Mrs. Rodriguez, watering her flowers, found herself answering questions about strong foundations. Her architectural knowledge transformed into a stable base made from interconnected boxes. Even Quiet Sam contributed, shyly explained the gear system in his music box. Soon, small paper gears decorated one section of the growing creation. The new structure wasn't tall. It wasn't particularly impressive at first glance, but it was special. The base, inspired by Mrs. Rodriguez's stories, held firm. Maya's pulley system lifted small platforms. Alex's rubber band technique allowed sections to expand and contract. Sam's gear idea created movement, and connecting it all with a careful wire wrappings and creative joint work that had always been a natural talent.
"What is it?" Mom asked, appearing with lunch.
"It's a listening tower. See? Each part came from really hearing what my friends were building. When you turn this crank Sam's idea, the gears move these platforms, Maya's pulleys up and down different heights, Alex's rubber bands, and they all connect to the stable base that Mrs. Rodriguez taught me about."
"But it's not very tall," Mom observed gently.
"It doesn't need to be tall. It needs to work. And look." Small wooden figures, painted in bright colors, rode the platforms up and down. The little people can visit each other's levels, like how we all visit each other's ideas. The competition buzzed with excitement. Tables displayed robots and bridges, castles and gardens, inventions of every imagination. The judges, 3 local artists and the mayor, moved slowly through the displays, taking notes and asking questions. Jordan's listening tower sat modestly among the grander creations. But something magical happened when the demonstration began. Children gathered, fascinated by the moving platforms and interconnected systems.
"How does it work?" a little girl asked.
"Well, this part came from Marge. She's right over there with the robot. And this section..." The explanation flowed naturally, giving credit to each friend whose idea contributed. Soon, Maya joined the explanation, adding details about the pulley system. Alex pointed out the rubber band joints. Even Sam crept closer to quietly explain the gear mechanism. Before long, a small crowd had gathered with creators explaining their techniques to each other, inspired by how their ideas had combined in unexpected ways. The judges arrived at the listening tower last, finding not just one presenter, but a whole group of collaborators. Mrs. Rodriguez had joined the crowd, pointing out the architectural principles in the base.
Grandpa Chen stood at the edge, his proud smile worth more than any prize. "Tell us about your creation," the mayor requested.
"It started as just my idea," Jordan began, then paused. "Actually, that's not true. It started when I finally listened to everyone else's ideas. The tower isn't tall, but it's strong because it's built on what I learned from my friends and neighbors." The demonstration showed each component, but more importantly, it showed connection. The little painted figures moving between levels represented more than just toys. They showed how ideas could travel between people when someone took the time to really listen.
"Interesting," one judge murmured, making notes. "Very interesting indeed."
The winners were announced an hour later. Third place went to a spectacular castle with working drawbridge. Second place honored a solar-powered fan made entirely from recycled materials. And first place, the mayor announced, goes to a creation that embodies not just building skill, but community spirit. The listening tower shows us that the best creations come from collaboration and careful attention to others' ideas. Congratulations, Jordan. The cheers were loud, but the quiet pride in Grandpa Chen's eyes was louder. Friends crowded around, each pointing out their contribution to the winning design. The tower would stand in the town square for a month, but the real prize was understanding that building up sometimes meant opening up. "Next year," Maya said excitedly, "we should all work together from the start."
"Yeah," Alex agreed. "Imagine what we could build if we planned it together."
Jordan nodded, already imagining the possibilities. "But first, I want to hear all about everyone's projects. Really hear about them. Sam, I never got to see your music box properly." As the group walked towards Sam's display, chattering excitedly about gears and melodies, the listening tower caught the afternoon sun. It wasn't the tallest structure at the competition, but it stood the strongest, held up not by tape or glue, but by the connections between friends who had learned to truly listen. The workshop that evening felt different. Tools rested in their places, materials sat organized on shelves, but the space hummed with new potential. Tomorrow would bring new projects and fresh ideas. But now there was knowledge that the best foundations weren't built from materials at all. They were built from patience, attention, and the willingness to hear what others had to share. Outside, neighbors called greetings to each other across fences. Children ran between yards, sharing stories of the day's competition. And in the town square, a modest tower made of recycled materials and borrowed ideas stood as a reminder that sometimes the most important thing we can build is the bridge between ourselves and others. The sound of hammering started up again next door. Maya began her next project. But this time, instead of competing noise, it sounded like an invitation. Through the window, a voice called out, "Hey, Maya, what are you building? Maybe we can share ideas."
And with that, the real construction began.